In the middle of the cold ocean, where the north wind blows hard and the waves are several meters high, begins the dangerous journey of the sea hunters. Not gold, not pearls, but a living treasure, the king crab. Follow the brave fishermen on this harsh journey where every cage is a gamble and every day at sea is a real battle for survival. And then, the most thrilling moment came. After hours of soaking in the cold depths of the sea, each heavy trap was hoisted to the surface. All eyes were on one point: would today be a lucky catch? As the traps touched the deck, the clatter of hundreds of crab claws rang out. It was the sound of achievement, of sweat, and of hope. The trap was opened and a living treasure was poured out. Huge, spiny king crabs thrashed about in the steel tray, covering the deck. The clanging of their claws, the cheers of the sailors all joined together to create a symphony of the sea. It wasn't always like this. Some days the bottom was empty, but today was a bountiful day. It's not always about big ships in the middle of the ocean. In coastal areas or shallow water areas, fishermen choose a more manual way, using small, maneuverable, and terrain-appropriate net traps. The work here seems easy, but it still requires patience, meticulousness, and strength. Each trap is pulled up by hand. Each crab is carefully inspected right on the boat. The special cage, designed with brightly colored rings, not only holds the bait but also attracts the crabs inside more effectively. After hours of waiting, the trap is pulled up and all eyes are on the results again. No fuss, no rush, just a decisive move, and the spoils begin to appear. And for fishermen, nothing is more rewarding than seeing the crabs pouring out from their own efforts. The sea is not always calm. In the bitter cold, the pouring rain and the howling wind, the work continues because crabs wait for no one. The giant cage is pulled up from the depths, tilting heavily under the weight of hundreds of crabs inside. Every move must be precise. One slip of the hand and the consequences can be dire. Each large, sharp, spiny king crab slid out of the cage and landed on the steel tray below. The job required agility and dexterity because just one strong swing, one pinch, could cause injury. The moment the crates of crabs were loaded from the hold of the ship, a sign that the journey was nearing its end. After many days at sea, experiencing wind, cold, and danger, it was time to transfer the results to the mainland. As the night fell, the cold wind blew, and the deck was covered with ice. The crabbers continued their work. There was no concept of a day off, no room for fear, only steely spirit and incredible endurance. In the midst of the sea, each cage was pulled up heavy, cold, and dangerous. If one hand slipped, a big wave could sweep away both the person and the cage. And then, after all the hard work, the reward was clearly in sight. A full cage of crabs heavy was a living testament to perseverance, courage, and the spirit of never giving up. Not every crab that is caught in the trap is kept. As soon as the round trap is pulled out of the water, the fishermen immediately check the number and condition of the crabs inside. Each crab is carefully measured. If it is not of the minimum size, or if the female crab is carrying eggs, it is released back into the sea immediately. This is an unwritten rule among those in the profession. Catch crabs, but do not kill them. They understand that keeping small crabs today is keeping the opportunity to make a living for tomorrow. Returning from the sea, the king crabs continue their journey, this time through the hands of hard-working factory workers. They work at high speed, their hands quickly sorting, processing and packaging the crabs according to strict standards. Every journey starts with the smallest things. In crab fishing, the first step is to set the bait, the secret to survival, to lure the crabs into the cage. At the bottom of the cold, silent sea, the bait trap waits. No machinery, no sound, just the scent of the bait dissolving in the water, spreading like a secret signal. And then, the first visitors appear, groping with their sensitive pincers. They follow the current, drawn by hunger, instinct, and the scent of the bait box. One by one, they approach, surrounding the trap. They do not know that once they are in, the chance of returning is very slim. The fishing doesn't always take place amid big waves and cold winds. There are days when the water is calm, the sky is clear, and the scenery is strangely peaceful. But even in favorable weather, the work still requires absolute concentration and precision. Once removed from the traps, the crabs are taken to the temporary holding area. It is cold, dark and damp, but the ideal environment to keep the crabs alive throughout the journey. Each king crab, after its journey from the bottom of the sea, is now transferred to rest in the bowels of the ship. Once the crab cage is harvested, a new round begins. The bait is refilled, the line is untangled, every detail is thoroughly checked. Everything has to be perfect before it is released into the deep sea. There is no real break. Crabbing is a continuous cycle: pull up, harvest, ray, release. And each drop is a gamble. No one knows if it will be good luck or bad luck down there. Great! This is the scene of the lowering of the trap into the sea, done by hand and coordinated by the fishermen on a small boat. This action marks the beginning of a new cycle, full of hope, but also full of risk. And then, after hours of waiting, the trap began to rise from the water. This was always the most exciting moment, like opening a lottery ticket. No one knew whether the cage would be empty or full of king crabs. Each claw, each crab's back gradually appeared in the water, a worthy reward for all the hard work in the open sea. Thank you for following our journey of hunting king crabs. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share to support us. See you in the next videos.